What's up, everybody? Welcome back. We are going to talk about these changes to the Doom Raid and the more availability of the ISO, all the stuff going on that's been going on since they announced that they were going to be locking the Doom Raid behind ISO 4 and 5 on your characters. Pretty much universally panned by the community. Everyone said it was a terrible idea. We said so as much in the Envoy chat. They implemented it. Everybody hates it. It's very wildly unpopular. And so now they are returning to where we had the Doom Raid before, at least partially. We will still have the Doom Raid version that we have with the blue ISO that you can farm, but now we have one that will not be gated behind ISO. So we're going to talk about all of that, and then we're also going to talk about this Unity event that's starting up tonight with Moondragon and how to help kind of maximize things and what kind of thresholds you guys should be going for, how to help that with your alliance, do a little bit better with that, and just kind of talk about that event overall. So let's start here with Return of the Doom Raid. We will be getting First Strike back. So this will be the Doom Raid without the ISO requirements on it. Wherever you were before with it, you will be able to go up. You'll be able to get those raid battles completed. Will no longer be forced to use ISO, but you will not be able to farm your tier 2 or your blue ISO from that. There's a bit of a trade-off here where if you want to farm that blue ISO, you will still need to go into the Doom Raid that requires the ISO on your characters in the first place. This will be coming back. They don't know when it is coming back, but they're working as hard or as fast as they can. At least that's what they say. They're working as fast as they can to at least make this a possibility and have it come back soon. So with the increase in the Doom Raid, we basically told Scopely that we need more availability of the Tier 1 ISO. And we finally have the idea of what they're going to be doing here. And I'm going to say right off the top of the bat, these changes are fantastic. I love them. I'll talk about them. These changes are very, very much needed and should have been around when the Doom Raid started. So number one, all T1 crystals that you can get from the Ion missions or the ISO missions will now have permanent double drops. That is big. That's very, very big news right there. Permanent double drops. I mean, you're going to have the cynical person say double of zero is still zero, but that means you're going to at least get double on average of what you were getting before. Missions which cost 24 Iso-8 campaign energy will now drop 2,000 T1 ions instead of 1,000 and 240 T1 basic Iso-8 orb fragments. And the missions which cost 12 Iso-8 campaign energy will drop 1,000 ions from 425 and 40 T1 basic Iso-8 for orb fragments. Missions which cost 12 Iso-8 campaign energy will be able to be cleared 20 times before the player has to spend any power cores to refresh them. I don't know what the HC stands for, but I know that that's your cores that you have to basically spend. So instead of 10 max attempts, now you have 20. You have double drops. You also get Iso-8, the T1 basic orb fragments, and you also get ions. So you're getting a whole lot more of everything. These changes are huge, and this allows you to get more of the T1 basic orb fragments, which don't give a lot at first, but since you're going to be farming them quite a bit more now, that's going to stack up pretty nicely. The double drops, the ions. On average, you're probably not going to get rid of the ion bottleneck because you're still getting a lot of your crystals here. You're getting more than double of your crystals now because of the implementation of the Iso-8 orb fragments into the drops here, but you are getting significantly more ions. So we'll see in the long run. I don't think this is going to cure the ion bottleneck, but you are at least going to have more crystals here. So we'll see what happens there. Now, the intention of this was to be able to effectively target more specific crystals. You know, kind of like, for me right now, I'm very short on Brawler. Brawler has been getting a lot of good characters lately. Shadowland had at least half their characters with Brawlers. Let's see, Heroes for Hire, Colleen, and Iron Fist were both Brawlers. Now I've got Gamora and Nebula I'm working on, who are both Brawlers. I'm very short on Brawler. So now I'm going to be able to use this to hopefully focus on farming up, you know, those Brawler crystals, hopefully. Except for this part where these will go live with the 5.5 release. And this is the part I can't understand, and this is what drove me crazy when we were talking in the Envoy chat, is why at no point did anybody at Scopely ever say, hey, let's implement this alongside the Doom Raid. It blows my mind that they had to know people in the community would not be happy with these changes. And if they weren't aware, then these people don't deserve to make this game. If they weren't aware of this pushback coming from the community in terms of the Iso-8 and requirement for the Doom Raid and how scarce they were, I have to question the leadership. I have to question the management. I have to question how much these devs really care for the game. And I mean, that's just the short truth of it. But the fact that these are not coming at 5.5 is, or until 5.5, which means we're probably a good month out at least from these changes, is so unacceptable. And it kind of dampens it. And I love these changes, but I hate this. And that I've kind of spoken my piece about it in the Envoy chat. I'm kind of burnt out talking about it in the Envoy chat at this point, and that's why I haven't really talked about much in videos, because I've just been so busy just yelling about this in Envoy chat. I just don't have the time to make videos about it, or the energy or desire to make videos about it either. But Scopely, you've got to do better with this. This needs to be out now. That this wasn't implemented alongside the requirements for the Doom Raid is nuts. Now, they also changed the difficulty stuff for the Doom Raid. I'm not really going to cover this in detail. If you guys want to see this, there is a link to this update down below in the video description if you guys want to check it out. But yeah, basically, the main thing is pretty much all enemies have 20% damage and or minus 20% health and damage multipliers across all of them. They go through mission by mission on what have changed in terms of spawns, reduced health or damage. So all of that is here in that if you guys want to talk about this. Now, I have to say, in terms of the Doom Raid, I know people are upset with the, bringing back the Doom Raid, but that you can't farm blue ISO from it. Probably an unpopular opinion here. I'm sure I'm going to get yelled at by people. I kind of like what they're doing here, because now you have two options. You can go for the basic Doom Raid, the first strike, where you can go for more raid milestones, get Silver Surfer, and not have to worry about ISO requirements, or start farming that blue ISO and having to have your characters up at ISO levels. So you kind of get to pick and choose. There's more flexibility here. And I know people want it so that you don't have to have the ISO requirements and farm the blue ISO. I kind of like what they're going here with the Doom Raid. I know people are not going to agree with me on that one, but that's where I stand. If you want to farm that blue ISO, I get why they want it to be to get it behind tier 1 ISO. And now that we're going to be getting the increased availability of them, I'm a little more accepting of that stuff now. But we need to have both versions of the Doom Raid right now. We should have had them all along, and we should have had the two different versions. But yeah, I'm not going to complain too much about having two different versions of the Doom Raid. One where you can farm blue ISO but are required to have blue ISO or your tier 1 ISO on them, and one where you can just do the Doom Raid, get more raid milestones, get your Silver Surfer shards. You get to pick and choose which one you want, which version of the Doom Raid you want to do. So, yeah, let's talk about this Moondragon thing and this quirky tag and what's going on here. I've got to say, the whole like raid thing with your alliance, it's a little weird because you have to use quirky characters in the raid battles, and your quirky characters, not a wide variety of them, especially for the gamma raid that's going on right now. It's not the best. I mean, you have 3 characters for Infinity Watch, but then like your Axemen, you have 3 characters for the Axemen team, but most of these characters, like, you're not going to use them in raids. I mean, you've got 1 Wakandan, you've got 2 Pimtech, so those lanes are kind of in trouble. You do have the Axemen, so you can use that for the X-Men nodes. But if you're like Defender or Shield or one of those early middle lanes for your Gamma raid, you don't have a lot of options. You got Yo-Yo here with Shield. The Gamma raid's not really suited well for this kind of quirky event with the Moondragon event. It just wasn't the right Gamma raid to bring out. So if you want to maximize that, you're then forced to go for your Ultimus raids. But even then, you just saw those characters. There are not a lot of good raid options there. So what can you do to basically get the most out of your Moondragon in the raiding with the Alliance? Probably best to drop down to a lower difficulty of the Gamma raid, like Gamma 2, Gamma 3 maybe. But I mean, at that point, these characters are so easy. I mean, look at the power on that, like 10,000 power on that. You can take even horrible characters in at that point. But look at that. No restrictions on these nodes either. So take a full team of quirky characters in. And there you go. That's how you're going to be able to easily farm this. And then at the same time, keep progressing on your Ultima 7, your Doom raids. basically farm Gamma 2 with whatever quirky characters you have, throw them in there, put on auto, you're going to clear that easily. Shouldn't be too much of a problem. With us at 7.5 and at 4.2, we are doing okay. In order to get the max out of this, you need 75,500 points. And this averages out to about 314 milestone points per person in your alliance per day. So this is one where, yeah, if you were just able to do the auto on like a Gamma 2 and just go in with easy quirky characters, you probably knock this out in no time at all. That would be my recommendation for this. In terms of rewards though, I mean, the rewards here in the Alliance milestones, they're not that great, which, I mean, you have these gold promo credits here at the end. You get a total of like 10 of them here at the very end of the Alliance ones, which is nice, but a lot more of the solo ones are where you get the better rewards. The Catalyst, the Tier 14 and Tier 15 uniques, the Origin pieces, the solo version here, plus the solo milestones over here in the for Alliance or for Arena and Blitz. Those I'd say are probably better rewards overall. Outside the gold promo credits, your solo milestones for the Moondragon event are much better than your Alliance ones. So focus more on getting this Arena and Blitz thing done, because that's going to get you a lot of Unity Orbs. You do get a lot of Unity Orbs out of doing your Blitz sims and everything. You're going to be able to go through and open up plenty of Unity Orbs through that. And also, I did a single rotation so far today, and I'm about a quarter of the way through my milestones for the solo on the Blitz and Arena, and I only got 30 Blitz teams. So you'll be able to go through this pretty quickly as long as you have a solid number of teams and you keep up with your Blitz simming. 4 to 5 rotations will knock out your solo milestones here for strength in numbers, which is just doing Blitz and Arena. And also, Fight and Arena, 50 points for your milestones in Blitz and Arena. That's great. So yeah, I mean, don't worry too much about the Alliance stuff. Worry more about what you can control on your own. Make sure you're doing your Blitz and Arena stuff daily. Knock out those milestones. If you do your campaign node farms every day, you're going to get more Unity Orb fragments. What are these even called? I think they're called Unity Orb fragments. Yeah, Unity Orb fragments. So yeah, I mean, the Alliance stuff is supplementary, but make sure you're doing plenty of your own solo stuff. That's going to be your main currency for the Unity Orbs. And in terms of the Unity Orbs, there is some good stuff in there. There's a couple characters which are missing, which has caused some consternation within the community, but you do get a very solid drop rate of Moondragon out of this. You have a 10% chance per orb of an 8 shard drop here on Moondragon, and then 50-50 on the other ones, 5 shards, but a very high boosted rate of Moondragon in that. Look at that, White Tiger, Yo-Yo, you've got Shatterstar, Multiple Man in here, Moondragon, Negasonic. You've got some good characters in here, even some astonishing X-Men. So all of your quirky characters are going to be in here that you can get. And that is really, this Unity Orb is not bad in terms of that. You don't get the great orange drops we've seen before. I remember last year when we had this Unity Orb event, you're able to get unique, like your tier 14 uniques out of this. Not so this year. I think they took them out of the Unity Orbs last year, if I remember correctly. But yeah, you're not going to get as good as gear drops, but you do have a pretty good chance of pulling Moondragon from these Unity Orbs. So let me know down below, what do you guys think about this Moondragon event? And it does seem like the rewards are a little lackluster compared to the events in the past, but what do you guys think about the Alliance milestones, and what do you guys think about having to drop down to lower raid difficulties? What do you guys think about these changes to the Tier 1 ISO availability and the Doom raids? Let me know down below. But as always, if you guys have enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that like button, share, and subscribe. I will see you guys next time.